So today's attempt, we're going to make a TV stand. Okay, so here we have pine wood, which we like pine wood. I like how it looks. We're using the pocket hole screws to attach the frame. Pocket hole screws and the glue. I have a hard time using the clamps, so I try not to use the Craig setup a lot because it never works for me. But here I'm trying to use it to see if it works. I noticed that the pine wood, when I bought them, they were not bent, but as they sit and dry in the house, they kind of start to bend. So I'm having a hard time trying to get them all straight up. So while the frame is being dried up, I have my son here help me out with cutting the top of the cabinet and the bottom of the cabinet, and as well as the side panels for the cabinets. So this section here is just putting up the cleats in front of the face frame. So I'm just using glue. At this point I just wanted to try to just use glue and not having to use screws or nails. Then here I am sanding the frame, making sure it's all nice and flat where all the joints are, making sure all the glue is removed. I'm using 180 grit, I believe, sandpaper. So here I glued up the panel and just using the clamp to hold on to the wood panels. And this part is more cleats, I guess you call them, for the bottom and the top of the cabinet. This is where the stuff would sit. So here I'm shaving off some of the wood because it was not flush enough, so I used my little small hand planer. More glue on the top of the face plate, and then the 6 feet by I think 2 feet plywood on top. That's the dimension. And then I'm just clamping them on. I only have 4 of these Irwin clamps, so that's what I use. My spacer, I'm using the spacer to help hold the support piece on the bottom cabinet. This support piece is where the bottom frame or piece of wood's going to sit on. So I applied the legs here on the bottom table or bottom board. There's a little notch there so that when I put the bottom piece into the frame, or when they meet up together, it slides on in. So here is how it's going to slide on in. So flip around, shove it in, boom, just like that. So then I apply glue, and then just I'm going to use these 4 longer clamps that I have onto the bottom and the frame. Then here's another piece of the 3/4 inch maple plywood I use for the middle section, and so I'm pretty much starting from the middle out. Just using wood glue and some brad nails to hold them in. And some of the panels didn't go in right, even though the measurements were there, so I had to use the planer to remove some pieces of wood off. So here's my little jig, or I would say Jenga, to hold on to my support beam for the cabinet shelves. I was going to put the little holes in there, but we decided not to put little holes in there because we never ever changed the height of the cabinet things anyway, so just decided to staple them on or nail them on. Here's the back of the cabinet. I'm drawing some lines to where the panels are at, so that when I screw this little 3/4 inch plywood into the back, I have somewhere to put the screws into. And I did this so that just in case in the future, if I have to remove the cabinet for some reason, I can do so just by unscrewing the screws and moving it. So what I did was I pre-drilled it, I countersinked it, and then here I am applying the I don't know, 1/4" screws into it. So here are the doors for the cabinets. Cut them up into length. I edge band them, and I'm just drilling using a Forstner bit. Drill the holes. I think they're just 3 inches from the top and the bottom of the door for the hinges. Here I am laying out the doors. These little triangle things are pretty neat. I just got them. So it just props up the object so that you can sand, or no, not sand. I don't use it for sanding, for painting or staining. That way it's easier to do on the bottom of the doors. So I'm applying 1 coat of shellac first, and then once that dries, I think about an hour, I then sand them, re-shellac it, and then sand them one more time with 220 grit sandpaper. And I'm applying these soft closing door hinges onto the door. So they work out pretty well. And here's the part that I dread, that is to sand the whole entire cabinet. It was very loud, a lot of vibration, but in the end I thought this looks pretty cool, how the shellac brought out the color of the maple. So what I did was I just applied the first layer of shellac, waited for an hour, came back, and then sand it down to using 220 grit sandpaper, sand it down, and I was very amazed at how glassy it felt. It actually felt like if I bought this at a store, that's how slick the thing felt. Which I'm still shocked at how smooth it is. So here's the final product. Here's my cabinet. That piece in the back of the cabinet is to stop anything from falling behind the cabinets, such as pencils or chargers or whatever my kids throw on top of this thing. I really love the finish. I really love how the knots came out, how the grains look. It's not a perfect cabinet. That's another thing that we love about it, is because it's not perfect. It looks natural, and it suits our needs. These door knob things, I reuse them. They were our old knobs from our kitchen cabinets, but I hope you like the way this cabinet looks like. I really enjoy and have had a lot of fun making it and learning a lot of stuff from it. So I hope you like this video, and please subscribe. Thank you.